Thank you. First and foremost, thank you for inviting me. It feels good to be here. Quite exciting times over here, it seems. I met a lot of nice people yesterday and a lot more nicer beer. So yeah, please. Okay. My name is Pushkar Kulkarni. I'm the Global Business Development Director, so I head all business development for audience measurement for IPSOS worldwide. I was given this brief saying that since Nielsen is doing TV, I should touch upon radio, print, and out of home, because that's what I think IPSOS is associated in this market. I was told that I need to talk about the innovations that are happening, what different markets we are in, and what kind of innovations that are happening, and which can come to Serbia one day, hopefully soon. I've also been given 10 minutes to do this talk, but I will try. I can't promise. So for us, an IPSOS approach to audience measurement. I think for us, audience measurement is a full circle. You look at TV, you look at radio, out of home, AdX, and also in nowadays, which is cross media. As Maxim mentioned, gone are the good old days when TV, radio, print was all in silos or standalone. It is all merging together. And I think that is the reason why all the innovations are required, as well as that's where the cross media is becoming too popular. I will handle one readership first. So in terms of IPSOS, we are in about 44 countries. The way we do our readership research is still face-to-face very popularly, but more and more what's happening is online, and CATI is coming into existence. I won't go through all the 44 countries, but to mention a few, like CIM is a JIC in Belgium, so we do readership for them. PAMCO is a project where a lot of innovations are being done in the UK. EMA in Australia is another one, which I'll talk about a bit more in detail, because that, I think, is where we are doing a lot more innovations. So CATI and CAVI data collection is happening. So apart from face-to-face, that's where we introduced CATI. And so these are online methods. OSREG, I heard a lot of talks about how the industry needs to come together and all that. And within audience measurement or the measurement system, I think it is the media industry that needs to come together and form a JIC. I've been told there's going to be a good discussion, hopefully, on this later on the panel. So I'll touch upon it over there. But in terms of new engagement models, new segmentations, three-way fusion, so which is basically mobile and online and print, all putting all together. And these are the things that we've been doing in Australia as innovations. Mainly because we wanted to break these frontiers. We wanted to get online collection quickly done so that the efficiency of the system is faster. Fusion of the panels, it is very important for the advertisers in the audience here to know, apart from the big data, the census data, the digital data that you're collecting, what is the panel behind it, what is the demographic behind it. And that is something that we are working on in the readership foray. Out of home, we're doing that in about 10 countries. The template that we follow for out of home is actually it's more like stalking. What we do is, there are 4 pillars that we try to capture. Is in terms of the inventory management. We need to know what our hoardings are, where the billboards are and all that. So that's a kind of study that is done, which again can be used, GPS can be used for that. Traffic volumes in terms of who is there, who are going, what kind of journeys are happening, how many people go to the football match, and therefore how many see it. Travel habits, what are their behaviors? So you go, follow them and see what they're doing, where they're going. Did they go to the shopping mall or the cinema? So kind of stalking, as I mentioned. And obviously, once all that comes in, is what is important is the visibility correction in terms of how many people could see that billboard, where could they see it. And in this case, the innovation part that we take into consideration is the eye tracking studies, like the Google glasses and other stuff. And that, again, is advantageous, because that's where the 20th century measurement is going. Digital is in a big way, so we have to collect all that data passively as much as possible, and that's what we do. for the out of home. Lastly, but not the least, radio. And this is where I think the innovation has gone leaps and bounds. If you notice, we are doing it in about 33 countries right now, and that is actually now 35, and I'll tell you about the other two, actually 34. But most of the methods that are followed for radio are still catty, diary, day after recalls and all that. But our friends in Nielsen, they're doing a lot of work in terms of passive measurement, whereas we are also doing a lot of work, and also the other research agencies. And that is quite important, because radio, even though we are saying that the radio listening is dropping, what is happening, it's just that it's dropping on the traditional radio, but listening is happening. It's happening digitally, and you have to capture all that. For us as measurement companies, that is the biggest challenge. And for that, what we have done, before I finish, so the other country is Mexico, and in the UK, where we are doing electronically using the media cell. And a media cell is basically your smartphone, which when we download an app, converts into a meter, and it can then, whatever you come in contact with the media, whatever kind of media, it measures that. So not only radio, it can do TV and digital. So it's actually a personal meter. It can do out of home, in home. It can listen to other devices. It can listen to whatever is being listened on your devices also. And not just listening, it can also, since it's an audio based, it can also measure television and digital. Very quickly on the philosophy that it works is basically, as I mentioned, it is your smartphones that can get converted into meter. So for us in IPSOS, the respondents is at the heart. So we do not really want to actually burden them with carrying additional devices. So it is their day-to-day device that they're using, and that does the job for us for measuring television, radio, and online. The way it works is there is something called audio matching and audio watermarking. I'm not going to go into the details, but if you want to know more about it, I'm more than happy to talk about it later during the day. And it works on both iOS, Android. We in fact even started it for Windows. At some point we were doing it for Symbian, but then we stopped. I think BlackBerry is no longer over there. And that, as I mentioned, is actually what is coming out is basically the cross-platform. How we measure all that is what is done. And when I said 35, it was actually UK, where we are doing is we are actually measuring the listening on TV, radio, as well as online, and it is through the media cell. So we have the app on the primary media cell device, as well as all the other secondary devices, which is mobiles, tablets, as well as computers. And it is then measuring TV, measuring radio. It is measuring what all apps you go into, and giving a whole picture or total picture of what media you are consuming. Thank you.